Alright, what's up you guys? UFO Proof here. So we're going to talk about ancient alien theory today, and what are your guys' thoughts on it, alright? So I'm going to give you guys some of my questions and some of my thoughts about it. First, we're going to start here with Sacsayhuaman. I love Peru. This whole place is fucking crazy. But I really think that Peru has like a much stronger connection. Look, this is the filler behind those giant rocks of Sacsayhuaman. In case anyone ever want to know what was behind him, these. Okay, it's just a bunch of dirt, crap filler, crap rocks and dirt and everything that just fill the back end. That's what's behind those rocks. And so, like here, we're going to see the chisel marks of it, so the different size tools that they say did this. But I don't see the tools matching up with it, you know. I mean, like the way these are made, those little white dots are the tool marks, and the closer you get to the joints, see the smaller they get. So the tool had to change sizes. So they had to change different tools, and we'll see here in a second the tools that they claim that they used. As I don't agree with that. This is actually a Ollantaytambo, because that's the granite. Right there, they say those are the hammering tools, but the ends looked fine. They didn't look like tools to me at all. They looked like the projectiles. You'd like wrap a sling around them, a piece of rope right around the middle, and sling them, and they'd be deadly. Like those are probably projectiles too. Whatever they are, fucking neat looking. This is a Ollantaytambo. Look how they process these stones. Look at that cut. It comes out smooth as glass. And I mean, you see this all over the world too. You know, it doesn't just happen in Peru, but Peru mixes it up. But like, you know, you can see remnants of Peru in every other culture around the world. I mean, it looks like a molded like material, and then they like cut through it with a knife. Now look at this. Back at that fortress, you know, this incredible circle. It's got all these like water conduits going through it. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is incredible. Imagine the engineering and design that goes into this. I mean, this thing is absolutely incredible. That's what's on top of the fortress, you know? It's like... How does that make sense? It's not a fortress. It's something else. It's, you know, whatever. It's something fucking neat. Now, what's really, really interesting is that when you see some of the older stuff, the blocks of andesite, they're cut perfectly square. I mean, smooth, perfect, right angles, everything. And they look much better than the limestone ones. But these stones are much older. Look, they're actually in the filler of the walls of Sacsayhuaman. So the back, all the trash that they, you know, all the broken pieces and shit that they filled the back in with, this is what they use. These perfect cut pieces of andesite. So these buildings, these blocks must have been around before they built the wall, because they just like recycled it. They're just like, yeah, throw it in there, because you don't just cut a block and make it all perfect like that to use for filler. You wouldn't do that. The only reason you would do that is if you were just trying to stuff in a wall and you already had it sitting around and you weren't using it. They were using these the big pieces of limestone. So whatever civilization did that, you know, it was different from the civilization who did the big rocks, the walls. It was also, you know, there's different, you can see signs of different civilizations when you look at this and how this is processed. This has a process of being melted. And it's so neat. Now this actually has like saw marks, you know, you can actually see the cut mark in it. Look at the hollows right out of it, you know. Look at that angle and everything. So neat. Here we have the Kundalini snake, you know, it appears to be melted out of there, like scooped right out. Right here we have what looks like a puddle of granite. I mean, look at that. It just looks like a puddle of water. Like it just melted into water or something. I mean, that's fucking crazy. This is what happens when you try to melt limestone. It turns into quicklime, so it doesn't, it just crumbles away. It's crap. So how do you get to that kind of material? How do you do that? How'd they make it happen? Otherwise you have to say that, oh well, they carved it like that, which is obviously not true. Look at these wakas. These are so neat. The wakas are giant rocks in the center of Peru, all over the place. They have like a bunch of hollows cut out of them. Now this is really neat because they found it sealed up inside like a waka and like a cave, and you can still see the tool marks, how they melted through everything, because this hasn't eroded over time. It was like airtight. Look at that. You can see how it like melted. Look at the edges of the cuts. It's like this bubble, like a little stream, like they melted right through it. I mean, that's incredible. So, I mean, that's it. They did it. How'd they do it, though? Now here we're at Petra in Jordan. This place is incredible. And I have some theories on this place, and it reminds me so much of Peru. Look at the square notches taken out of the block right there. We'll come back to those later. Look at the eagles on top of the buildings right here. Like, they're like vultures or some kind of big birds, and pyramids right behind them, but they're not finished yet. Like, someone else is going to come by and finish it. But anyway. Now, this is, I got a theory, guys. Now, hear me out. I'm going to show you guys some evidence for it. See the fractures in the wall right there? I don't think they're fractures. I think they're hieroglyphs that have been chiseled out and people tried to erase it. Okay, now look at that design. Look at the roof, the slanted roof and everything. Make sure you guys pay attention to that, because we'll come back to that. But I think, look, right next to it, hieroglyphs, just chiseled, deep chiseled out. And I've seen them do stuff like that in Egypt before, like getting rid of hieroglyphs, and that's really what it reminds me of. But I mean, everyone thinks that it's just like fractures in the stone. They think it's like, that's like natural, and I'm like, I think it's hieroglyphs. It's just deeply dug out. Look at the step pyramid like that. Doesn't that not remind you of Peru and Bolivia and stuff? I mean, come on. That just has so many correlations. Look at these more, but I think these are. I really do. I think those are hieroglyphics that have been completely chiseled out. Can I prove it? Fuck no, but still. Look at the stairs going to nowhere, and I mean, it's just like, could you imagine the effort put into that? It's incredible. The time it would take. Look at all these hollows out of there. I mean, that's just these are tombs, people. That's what they're supposed to be. Okay, the people who lived here during the time lived in tents, by the way, but these are tombs. They've never found a single body in them, but still, they're tombs, okay? That's always what they go for. Oh, it's a tomb. It's a temple. It's a tomb or a temple. That's it. That's how they answer every fucking question. What's that? It's a tomb and a temple. Alright, so let me show you something over here. Right over here, I believe that is a vulture, or one of these birds that are up here. They were going to carve out a giant one over there. And look in the background, you can still see like the pyramids and stuff, but I see like the bird motif all over Earth too. You see it in Peru, like birdmen in Peru. You see birdman designs in Polynesia and in Micronesia. Now here we have Baalbek, Lebanon. Now this place just reminds me of that place too. They still have the same designs and stuff, except this isn't like carved into the mountain. It's just there, I mean, but this place is just unbelievable. The size of it is unreal. And look at the square pegs, just like, see the square holes, just like back in Petra. Look at the size of these blocks. I mean, these are insane. Now, this was the stone of the south, or the stone of the pregnant woman. It was on the biggest stone on Earth at one time. And look at this. Doesn't that remind you of Petra too? Like the holes. It's like, and who makes a tomb like that, by the way? You just walk right in. That's fine. Yeah, I'll go ahead, take my body. It's fine. No one does a tomb like that. Give me a break. And or steal my ashes, whatever the fuck. Now, see, the Romans, they had to carve up those blocks, and what you can see here is they used to think that that block was the biggest block in the world. They realized no, it's not, and there's blocks underneath it that are even bigger, and the thing is that this proves that the blocks were moved because of how they had it in these patterns like that, so they could move them and cut them all at the same time. And since this one doesn't have one next to it or anything other corresponding ones, then it must have been, other ones must have been picked up and moved, because they thought that that stone was too big for us to move. That's why they left it. No, it's not. They moved a bunch of them. Now, you guys ever seen the Bamiyan Buddhas before? I figured I'd show them to you guys if you haven't. Is this amazing or what? Too bad they're fucking gone. They were destroyed by the Taliban. This is in Afghanistan. Is this amazing or what? Look at the size of these things. This too reminds me of Petra and Baalbek and stuff. They all have like these similar motifs in Peru and everything. Look at the size of this thing. Yeah, they blew them the fuck up. How cool were those things? And they have stuff like this all over the world. I don't think many people know about it, but I mean it's everywhere. It's so fucking incredible. Just the size and the scope of these things. Look at the like the hollow, how smooth it is on the sides, like carved out like that. Look at the wrinkles in the coat and everything. I mean, that's just so good. How long do you think it took to do that? Look at this. This is in Asia. Now look at that. Tell me that doesn't remind you of Petra and everything. I mean, look at that. It looks just like it. This is in China. Look at this. Is that amazing or what? Look at the size of that.